Athena. I've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, what a ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Did you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. You're scaring the daylights out of me? No? I find that shouting "I'm fine" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Chords of Steel voice workout, and it must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first and you try. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Alright, I'm Athena Sykes. And I'm fine. I think it actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a whisk around the courthouse. The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. What's the further racket, you two? Mr. White! It's a little voice workout. Hey, what's the suit? No, this. I was thinking about getting my Tony's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news! But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. We can talk about that another time. No fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Wow. So used to him and his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most tolerant defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom? Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew he was going to be bad news. It's probably this high bully. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Better turn down my Chords of Steel too. So are you all ready? Might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, that's right. But I'm fine. Are we watching from the gallery? Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. Odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client, seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. I know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, Mr. Justice. Who's the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, huh? Excellent. makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. Appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecution for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh yes, of course, I almost forgot that he's currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course, forgive me. Why are all the people related to this case so scary? Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you please. What's the matter? Must we continue to flitter away time like this? It's all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Well. Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, boldness. If it's so very important, why don't you do the honors? Who, me? Some for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool. Wait. Is that the prosecutor's opening statement? Oh, no nonsense, as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren. Where's the great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? He actually fell for that? That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. White was talking about. The opening statement. Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Kubai, alderman of Ninetail Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the motor weapon. Plus, he had a motive in the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the marsupial mortal. The caretaker, the secretary, and other potential suspects both have alibis. And his daughter, who's also in the vicinity at the time of the sin, has no motive. So in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Bravo, young partners. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Flattery will get you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now. Let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I must be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackwell here. Good, right. Save your platoons for funerals. Get on with your statement. That's the spirit. This might be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Mosquito Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. I know what they say. Ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious. Now let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it. The first United States defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Alderman Kubai was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant Damien Tenma were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Kubai was asleep from a drug he unwillingly ingested. Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake and he grabbed the statue and struck back. Kubai had been stepped some kind of sleeping-inducing drug. That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe that he could fight back after being skewed by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain and sharpen their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this. And so your life is spared. For now. Please let your shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. My investigation as thorough as they are foolproof. Oh, my name isn't Fulbright. I've had to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon. He's the only person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, would you agree, your baldiness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge stating such a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks to make up for the purpose of freeing Tenma Chono from his imprisonment. Child, I can think of no real reason to start interested in that backwoods barn. Perhaps he's a complete nut or really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. There's a strange one, alright. I knew my truth was right. So the way he does make it before. sir. There will be no gossiping in my court. Martinus, please take a gander at those charms pressed across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Ugh.
Hold it!
The rumors on Crook the Mirtimer have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, sex things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Wow, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo! Here's the judge dancing in the palm of his hand! The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackcrow's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's presence to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai to be exact. On one side is a nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tenma Toro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very craze were rendered in art. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Alderman Kubai was mortared with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant Damien Tenma were found on the motor weapon. At the time, Alderman Kubai was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back.
Objection!
Did the alderman really struck the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is out about the destructive statue theory. Those fingerprints are the supposedly crucial piece of information. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touches the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Check the Fulbright. You did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo. You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. You supposed to club the mayor if it wasn't the alderman. Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for. There seems to be a hole in the prosecutor's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't response to the defense's assertion. you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Reminded his daughter's an unhorned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It would take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. I hope such has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There's a particularly good explanation for that. I could print on the statue. Bloodstained cloth on the scene of the crime. It just so happened that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? On your mind, boy, why was the blood on the cloth? So that wouldn't you shall see that the hole you thought you found was but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used? Maybe the Alderman robbed the statue in the cloth. And so he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Precisely. Bullet for you, boy. It was nothing. Apollo, don't let him stop manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right. That's a statue up in cloth would leave no fingerprints as plain as day. This also proves that there are no holes in our theory of the Alderman striking back. Now do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. Particularly he always tended to hone his blades before he went to walk like the samurai of New York. Samurai sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was walking through the kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a motoring samurai prison chef? You see, but the victim and his killer were the only ones in there after all. That was kind of a test that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the Alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please don't ask with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then what evidence have you? I'll give you evidence, alright. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo. I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. That's actually suggesting some sort of monster killed the Alderman. That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Sorry. Guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we'll no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch. You meanie. I'm reporting this to Mr. White. So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the Alderman. Interesting. Why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as useless as your partner is. Ouch! Yes, I'm not important to Mr. White. Fool White. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all that? Investigation process without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to cross opposition to the marsupial Moja. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Nine-Tails helped embolden the protests. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he found made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks stroked the villagers' fears? Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only give Wake's idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accused demon Tenma Choro, that is. Tenma who? Tenma Choro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to other more plausible explanations.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at Kubai Manor. As part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Choro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
The Lord, you are playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here, the feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Choro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma Choro suit is the killer. Ah! The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mr. Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fool, right? Right. It was the mayor's last effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing answers was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-mojo movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known mask wrestlers in the hometown favorites. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. The people in Nine-Tail Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime. Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressible minds. Just so, a possibly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocents of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? Yes, well. Now then, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. This entire case centers on one man's attempts to cross opposition to the marsupial murder. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Nine-Tails helped embolden protesters. So he struck the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Hold it!
doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stroke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Kubai? Excellent point! It is, isn't it? So your honor agrees that there is no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of playing heed to any of your babble. The fact is, the mail made a startling discovery. Startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Kubai's secret identity. Apollo! Let's get back to us, figure out the Alderman's secret identity! Even if he has, I would be willing to commit murder. This is not good. Spencer Foes discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the Amazing Nine Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Why? Why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-mojo movement. Need I say more? Well... Aha! Could it really be? Your baldness has an epiphany, I say. The victim, Wax Kubai, was the Amazing Nine Tails. And the man discovered this fact was his motive for murder. Oh! Order! What a stunning development. A motive clearer than crystal clear. What are you doing now, Apollo? I didn't think they'll tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. And last we reached my real point, why did the Alderman have to forge the secret identity? Does not pipe your interest, your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other person. Does to secretly participate in the anti-mojo movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. What? Now take a look at this. If you value your dealer's life, you will merge Nine-Tail Vale with Tenma Town. The blackmailer was found in Alderman Kubai's pocket. What? At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. That is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, the blackmailer sent to Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? Planted it on the Alderman's pocket? Possible. We don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he had just left after painting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his son's decision to kill the Amazing Nine Tails. So it was the Amazing Nine Tails counter-strike that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Koba's claiming that the male killed the Alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And the male was knocked out cold immediately after that. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after playing the feathers and tracks.
Objection!
Sector Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is a crime scene photo, and just what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you, they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence that was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear where the feathers and tracks were left at the scene.
Take that!
Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood? And the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. Then the man must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else behind them besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. Oh, must be some kind of mistake. Order. Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? But how? This man wants to justice release is half-baked. You start taking this really hard. Mr. Justice. Where's this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's a sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness Dixie Tenma saw a yokai Lahari after stumbling upon the scene. It was a demon Tenma Toro. These are just of those feathers and tracks. Will somebody please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court injustice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy. Your Holiness, it appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it!
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all yours. But you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? So in this statement here, Dixie Tenma said that she saw Tenma Toro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around a corner in the hall. It was around here. Then she saw Tenma Toro fleeing towards the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise. What? I'm incredibly obsessed. Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense is going to sue someone else. So that is the killer. It's all set up. The prosecutor isn't going to be done after all. Apollo, the momentum has switched in our favor. Good. Let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Then you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't even know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim? consider this. I thought yokai impersonator had been really fled towards that fire. That fool and that fop would have seen him. Wow, you mean Felton LaBelle? Yeah, you mention it. Both Phineas Felton and Florence LaBelle were in the fire at the time. But they haven't stated they saw a yokai, have they? Did you even consider that yokai was but a figment of a skilled little girl's imagination? Why didn't those two see the temperature personnel pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, Willie, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Flint's caretaker Kubai Manor to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes he saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Phillips is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Chukai was a well find, but when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did you just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know. Very well then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Phelps and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? Name's Phelps. Phineas Phelps. Caretaker of Kubai Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. This is something I thought you might like. Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Welch. It's your shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me folks stole them again. They are yours, your honor, so sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive. Yeah, it seems expensive to me, but I reckon they'd be perfect with someone like your honorship. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Ethics smack it. Just take him if you wanna. Boss them look real nice for you too. I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Phillips, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tamatoro in the foil after the murder. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the fire, just like Mr. Kubai asked. I was making sure no one, fair or foul, fishy or otherwise, could get to our guests. I was in my office keeping good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't say nothing out of the ordinary, no sorry. That yokai you keep jabbing on about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams. So, you're telling the court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenmataro? Yep, was gone the whole time. That's the whole truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. Tenmataro? You really don't believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. My bracelet. It's... Something the matter, Apollo? My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Phelps has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tail, some sort of novice habit. Ah! What in the... What is a hawk doing in here? Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you, you know, in jail. He's never heard of a courthouse bud. Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. That queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. They really use that word? This isn't some sort of trick or... Ah! I won't be able to squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Run for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Somebody help. He's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Saboteur, their foot should have seen him. I just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statements for now. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. Kubai asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m.
Objection!
Don't answer the court like that, Mr. Felch. Hey, ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss. I didn't watch that one. Nursery, I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Folks, someone even circled the mat. It was you, right? Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, it was a complete disaster. So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me into a rude, poo lawyer talk. I'm one of the professional types too. I can do double duty watching TV and the fire at the same time. The only thing Fortune claims to be a professional of is professional theft. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off. That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the fire at the same time. That's nothing but a bald-faced lie. Bald, you say, but I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you mean the witness, Mr. Justice. In that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Felch is lying about watching TV, and the first seriously now prove it.
Take that!
Please look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Felch's eyes were his ears should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the fire entrance and the TV at the same time. Why, yes, someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly, and that means, Mr. Felch, you were slacking off and were not watching the fire as you claim. The bags have the cat. I mean, other way around. Order. Mr. Justice, is Mr. Felch less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case? It's very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, Yeah, but it could have been a Tenmachoro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? He still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. I'm a mind reader. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. White, tan, spooky. They were. Yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. They say you weren't. My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I wouldn't have heard anything in that fire. You see, the fire flowing stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on it. Creak, creak, loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So, you say you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full time, so who's lying now? You no good shyster. The lying keep calling me a shyster. This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Mr. Blackfish, you really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing, and the bags on the eyes, they're darker than mine. Warning, Mr. Phelps. Takas, particularly fond of Tanuki. So you'd like to just quote again. You may simply find yourself on the menu. Please don't eat me, Mr. Takas. The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful blood attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. Hey, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been stacking up, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there was all creaky squeaky like nowhere I would have missed something walking by. Seriously, you don't want no Tenmachoro in the foyer. Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understood. A simple Western explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense for lacking that. Entire world would be but upside down. Says the convicted prosecutor who is totally a sign of the end of times for the legal ward. And besides, if there were any yokai woman around, I'd never been sell them to the zoo. I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. If we can't prove she saw Tenmachoro, the mayor's sure to be convicted. I better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs. The defense may cross-examine the witness.